Happy June to you. We're going to dive right into this monthly market update report for the month of June, where we're looking at last month's numbers. The good news is, the great news is, this is fresh off the press today. About 30 minutes ago, Florida Realtors released this information for Broward single family homes that we're going to be looking at right now. Depending on if you're a buyer or a seller in this market, you might like, love, hate, despise, or feel some type of way about the information that you're going to hear right now. So the first thing I want to remind you of, if you're doing any type of search in the market, if you're even acutely aware of what's happening in the Broward County single family home market, you know that it is hot, much like the weather is today. So let's look at the number of transactions or trades or real buyers that we had in the market for single family homes in Broward, concluding the month of May. 634 real buyers came to market and said, you know what, I like those homes so much, even in the craziness, even with the list price to sales price ratio being at 100+% in this time that we find ourselves this season. 1,634 real buyers came and said, I'm going to make an offer. I'm going to actually close, sign on that property, and get the keys. That's up 100% year over year last year. Something to remember, we know that the selling seasons have been thrown off or delayed just a bit because of this thing that we are in. But when we see 1,634 real buyers come to market, of those 1,634, 356 were cash buyers who said, you know, we don't want to utilize or leverage this cheap money. We're going to go ahead and purchase cash. So of the 1,634, 356 of those were cash. Now we have seen an increase in the median sales price, or the median home values or sales prices for single family homes in Broward. That has gone up 24.5% year over year to a number of 463,000. That's the median sales price. Why do we care? Because now we're starting to see a shift in the most active price band, which we'll get to a little bit later. And if you've been with me for any number of months or years, now we're not at decades yet, you will know that we really want to see which price band is most active. That's going to let us know which loan product we need to be aware of, if it's going to be conventional, if it's going to be FHA, if it's going to be jumbo, or something of the sort. Now, median time to contract, you might hear it as days on market. We are at a staggering, at a mind-blowing 12 days in the general market for median time to contract. That means, sellers, if we properly position your property on the market, we're going to see it under contract typically at a median time of 12 days. Buyers, if you're in the market, if you want to be competitive, you need to be ready to look, to see, to offer, and to sign within 12 days. Those really good properties, those properties that others want as well, that are going to prevent you from having buyer's remorse, are going under contract in 12 days. So make sure that you are prepared, that you've done all of your homework, your legwork, gotten the required documents into your lender, because I know that your realtor has told you to be pre-approved. Go ahead and get all those documents into your lender to make sure that the process runs as smooth as possible. So what does all this information mean as in terms of our inventory? What is our month of inventory, or how many homes do we have available for us as buyers, or how much competition do I as a seller have? You want to know? Do you really want to know? 1.4 months of inventory, which means if there were no more new properties to come onto the market, in about a month and a half, all the inventory for single family homes in Broward would be gone. Yay for the sellers, not so much for the buyers. And for you sellers out there, don't forget, when we sell, we still have to have a place for you to go. So let's keep that in mind when we are thinking about when we're going to market the property, how much we're going to position the property for, what are our goals, what are we thinking that we're going to get out of, because we also need to make sure we have a plan going in. So now let's look at some different price bands. Typically we're looking at a 300 or 400K minus a buck. We're not going to look at that right now for the new listings by initial list price. We're going to look immediately at the 400,000 plus price bands, and here's why. It's not so much for the number of listings as much as it is for the percentage increase over last year during this same time period. So from 400K to 600K minus a buck. Now let me make sure that we're clear on this. That's a $200,000 price band. We've seen an increase of 23.1% of the number of listings coming onto the market. But Neil, you just mentioned that we have a historically low available inventory. Yes, we're having more listings come onto the marketplace. In that price band, 400 to 600K, 23.1% over 2020. The 600K to a million minus a buck, we're at 72.3% increase in the number of new listings. For the $1 million plus, we're at 66% more new listings at 248. That's just for the month of May. That number is important. That percentage increase is important. The fact that it's for the month of May is important. Yes, you guessed it. So let's look at the current inventory. So we talk about the new listings. Yay, we like new listings. Buyers, sellers, we like new listings, new inventory, especially when we have a low months of inventory supply. But what about what's available now? So Neil, you're telling me 400 to 600K, we had 651 come on the market in May. How much is available, currently available based on list price? 400 to 600K minus a buck, 521. That's a 54% decrease from last year. The 600 to million minus a buck, that's 419 available units for sale or for trade or to transact. That's a 52.8% decrease. And the million plus price band saw a 41.2% decrease to 571 available units in Broward County for single family homes. Now let's look at the closed sales, the number of real buyers based on those price bands. Typically, the 300 to 400K, I'm always bragging. I'm excited about that price band. Well, respectable 375 real buyers came to market and said, we want to take that property for ourselves. They went, they saw it on the shelf. Yep, we like it. Let's take it to the register. We're going to buy it. 375 in the month of May. Now, that was an increase of 56.9%, almost a 57% increase. Respectable. Hand clap, or as the kids say, we're going to give that 56.9% a round of applause. But wait, it's just that the 4 to 600K, the 6 to a million minus a buck, and then the million plus just had such meteoric increases in the percentage that we're just blown away. And that's why we saw an increase in the median sales price for single family homes. So let's look at 400 to 600K increase in the number of real buyers, pending or closed sales or actual transactions or trades increased 144% to 554. Wow. 600K to a million minus one buck, 338 real buyers. That's an increase of 284% over last year. Wow. Now, for a million plus, there were 173 real buyers, trades, transactions take place in the month of May for single family homes in Broward. Increased percentage, 353.6%. So almost 344% in the number of transactions, closed sales, real buyers, trades that happen. Now that is a double wow. So what that means for us is we're seeing an increase in the sales prices. Duh, we're seeing a decrease in the number of available properties. Now you as a buyer or seller, you have to make a decision. Neil would love to make that decision for you, but you have to make a decision. How much do we want to pay? Are we willing to get into the market right now? Do I want to sell knowing that I'm going to have to find a place to buy? Or do I buy even in spite of, because money is relatively cheap? We are seeing properties appraise because there are some things that are being reformed in the appraisal industry. And then median time to contract, we know that it's 12 days for the general market. Let's look for 300K to 400K minus a buck. We're at 10 days. For 400 to 600K minus a buck, we are at 9 days. We're at single digits for that hot price band of 400 to 600K minus a buck. 600 to a million, we're at 11 days. And for the million plus price band in Broward County for single family homes, we are at a lingering 37 days on the market. Wow, wow, wow. So I hope that this video has been informative for you, that you found it valuable. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to me. I will make sure I drop my contact info right here. There you are. If I can ever be of service to you, don't hesitate to let me know. Whether it's single family, condo, townhouse, investment property, anywhere in the United States. I might not have the information, but I can get you the information. Remember that until next time I see you or you see me, don't be average. Be world renowned. Take care.